Good morning, fam. It is Friday, June 3rd. Actually, 3 days from my birthday. Yeah, but that's not what I'm here to blog about. I'm actually wanting to talk about an experience I had this morning that kind of pointed out some obvious Christian principles here, but something that I think is also very important. So if it's not fresh on your mind, you should really consider it. Um, the topic of today is getting connected and staying connected because there's power in your connection. Um, Today, I started using a laptop that my brother had let me borrow last weekend. Actually, he gave it to me because he was having some difficulty with the operating system working right. Um, it it basically would not boot up on him anymore, and his battery has some significant limitations and issues. Um, it essentially is a pretty decent functioning computer with a good processor. It's an HP, but you see like it has some issues with the boot up, but it'll get started for you sometimes. Um, it's just I don't know, doesn't work properly always. I've been able to kind of get the Windows going here. Um, and I would make it to this level in the startup process, um, and then at one point it would just power down on me, and it would go, and then it would all be gone. Uh, and I started, and I would turn it on and do the process again, and I kept doing that. I got through this process I think like 4 times. Oh well, now it's working. Wow, that's cool. But I got through the process like 4 times before I realized that maybe I should do something a little bit differently. Um, and you know how they say the definition of insanity is kind of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Um, and here it goes, and then it shuts down. And I was wondering what could be the problem with this because I had been experiencing problems with it, but that wasn't one of them. And the reason is I always had it plugged in, and I knew that the power coming from the outlet was going to keep that thing at least powered on while I wanted to use it. Now I couldn't experience the full range of flexibility of moving it throughout the house or taking it off of the premises to use. But as long as I had it plugged in and had an extension cord, I had plenty of freedom, all the freedom I needed in this home. It's not a good enough laptop to really use for all purposes, but it would let me do internet and online things at my seat, anywhere in the house rather than at the desk. So I was enjoying that, but with that problem this morning, I was kind of like floored because I didn't know what else to do. And then I realized, in looking around, that there must be something disconnected that I just don't see because the connection's good up here. But then when I looked a little bit further, boom, there was this disconnection. Now that cord is plugged into the wall. That one's plugged in the computer. So looking at both of the destinations of the outlets, it looks fine. And the other one, well, you can't really see it from here, but that cord goes to the plug in the wall. These this point is the disconnection. Um, to make a long story short, without that power, this functional laptop becomes pretty pointless. Um, if I don't stay connected, I don't get to use the beautiful capabilities of this laptop. It's basically a nice piece of plastic. And I started to think, man, this is so much like we are. In the past week, I have gotten really, I'm not gonna say distracted, but I've gotten really just focused on a lot of other things, a lot of activities that are godly activities. I've stepped it up big time in ministry, and I've been really active doing things for the kingdom. In the past week, however, I've noticed that I haven't been doing my runs lately, which has been a great time that I've been enjoying with God. I've noticed that my quiet time in the morning starts to slowly chip away, and um, I'll shorten the quiet time to do something ministry related, and then in my head I justify it by saying, well, this was for God, this was working for a quiet time. But at the end of this week, it's become pretty clear to me that as this week has progressed, I've allowed myself to slowly, because it usually doesn't happen overnight, but to slowly fade out of my deep connection that I had with the Lord. And I was kind of now dealing with this watered down thing. And then a result of that is this lack of power that you start to feel. Now, thankfully, I haven't had any ill effects of a slight disconnection yet, other than the realization that I don't feel as close to Him. And for me, that's all the ill effects I need, because I realize that through my day to day, minute to minute, I need God, and I need to know that He's in it. Ooh, that rhymed. Write that one down. And when I get disconnected, I feel, powerless. And I feel like there's darkness. Now, I could turn it on. And I could make it work for a moment. And that's kind of how I've been living in the past week. But without that connection, I can't really get things done, you know. I can't really operate the way God has intended for me to operate. So it's time to get plugged in and get this thing working the way it should. So you guys, my challenge for you today is to check your connection. I know you might have a high-powered battery, but guess what? God did not give us all a lifelong battery to just run and run and run. We have a pretty short-term battery. What I mean by that is when we get disconnected from our power source, it will not be long before that battery runs out. And if you get too disconnected, you might not realize that that is where your source comes from. So understand that you need to stay plugged in. You need to stay connected. And you need to stay in His line of power source, feeding into you. That's all that I really wanted to share with you guys today. And I hope that you're taking something from this. And I hope that it empowers you to get connected and get back in touch with the Holy Spirit that lives inside you, Christians. If you're not Christian, I don't hate you. I got much mad love for you, actually, and most of what I do during the day is built to bring you closer to Him. So if you feel that you're lacking that power, trust me, He's the source. So just come to Him right now and offer up your weakness, and understand that He wants to make you strong. Understand that He wants to be your guide. Whether you like it or not, He already is. And He wants to welcome you into the family and cleanse you of all unrighteousness and cover you with the righteousness of His Son, Jesus. Just call on His name right now. All right, y'all. Be blessed. Be a blessing. And have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully, I'll be back at y'all soon. If not, love you till I see you. Later.